How is everyone doing? Let's see, can everyone hear me? How's it going? All right. Let me just let a couple more people in. I'm checking the live stream over here. Let's do this. Turn those birds up to 11. Yes, awesome. That sounds great. All right, first let me introduce myself, everyone. My name is Chris, and I am helping out with the social media and playtesting on Streetdog BMX. I came in about 6 months ago to kind of help playtest, and since then, Adam has had me, help out with a lot of, little things here and there, and then officially coming on to help out with social media and content and trying to help build the hype for this game. Now, real quick, my background, I've been riding for about 25 years. I'm one of the older guys. And for the most part, I've had my hands on every type of BMX game. Yeah, that's why the hat says help. There we go. I've had my hands on every type of BMX game that has come across, that has come out in the last, 20 years. So starting with Dave Mirra's, both Dave Mirra 1 and 2, moving on to Matt Hoffman's, and playing any kind of other games that have come out since then. I've also played a ton of any of the action sports games, so I've got a lot of experience in these types of games, a lot of insight, and also just my experience in BMX over the years. I wanted to come in and kind of help contribute what I can to help get Streetdog to be an absolute banger of a game. So let's get into this. And as a matter of fact, I did play the Gravity Games bike. Actually, there were a few things about it that were not too bad, but it was a bit of a rough game to play. So if you guys are ready, let's get into this. My camera's going to go off, but you guys should still be able to hear me. And let's get into this. Let's pop this over. Give it 1 second here. There we go. All right, so once that pops up, you guys will be able to see. All right, what we've got here, we're going to dig in. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what the game looks like right now. Now, keep in mind, and just remember, guys, that this is a work in progress. While it might look really finished in a lot of the clips that we've shown, there's still so much left to do in this game. I don't know if you guys realize how much work Adam has put into this, but still how much work there still is to go. There's a lot of details. There's still a lot of things that, not just, from the type of physics that he's wanting to develop in this game to, the types of levels, the types of spots. There's so much that, while it looks great in the clips, there's still a lot of ways to go. But just to give you guys a quick look at how it's looking right now, we're going to get in here, show you guys just a hint of the customizer. We're going to have lots of options for hairstyles. We're going to go through lots of options for facial hair. As you guys saw in the recent video, he enabled piercings, and there's lots of different levels of piercings in here. And then lots of tattoos. So we've got so many options here. He's been working through trying to come up with a lot of creative ways to make your rider look how you want them to look. I'm really digging this half mullet raglan look here with the killer handlebar mustache. So we're going to roll with this for now. So we've also seen a lot of the comments that you guys have been leaving about things that you'd like to see in the customizer. As of right now, this is the pants selection. So the baggiest jeans that we've got are these chinos, but there's still a lot of time for things to get updated, a lot of time, for us to kind of finalize what will be available when this game finally launches. All right, I've gotten a request for the booty shorts, so we're gonna go with the short shorts. Now we could go no trousers, but you know what? Let's stick with the short shorts. Let's rock these. Let's change our sneaker color. Let's set this up for how we're gonna ride today. So, moving on, what's sick here is right now the way the customizer is with the bike, we've got a lot of options for things like metallic finishes, matte finishes, or gloss finishes for your parts. And we've also got a lot of different colors here. I've been really digging this Lakers purple and gold, so I'm going to stick with this for now, but we can pop in and make some changes to this in a bit. But you can change everything on the front end of your bike right now. You've got the back end of the bike, so we've got, you know, our cranks, chain ring, pedals, seat post. You can even change the color of that. Let's throw that purple for now too. If you want to change your seat color, you know, if you've got a fun color scheme to your bike, you can definitely like match your bike as close as, you know, with all of these settings in here. We've got these options. You can also change your front tire wall color. I know that a lot of people are really digging these colorful tires lately, so let's throw some white in here. Why not? And then we'll do the back tire as well. There we go. So yeah, so right now, the way this is, as far as the customizer goes, this is kind of like our rough options right now. Now, I'm going to go in, and we're going to go into the first level here. Now, previously, we've not shown what the names of some of the other levels are, but I don't have a way of blurring that right now. So right now, we're just going to focus on these two main levels, the campus and the ditch. Now, for the most part, these two are, they're not quite done. There's still quite a bit to go. The rest of the levels are still very bare bones, so we won't really get into those. I might tease a little bit of one of them, but for now, we're just going to get in. We're going to take a look at the campus, which is the main thing that you guys have seen in most of the content that we've done. Now, give me 1 second here. One thing I'm also going to do now is I'm going to enable the controller overlay, because a lot of you guys have had questions about the controls and how the game actually plays. And so I didn't miss the booty shorts. I decided to go against the they're not booty shorts. That's just underwear. Those are underpants. So we're going to stick with the short shorts for now. So having a look at this right now, I've got the controller overlay up so you guys can actually see what we've got going on here, what buttons I'm pressing, and I'll talk a little bit about the control scheme, because I know that that's been a big question in everyone's mind pretty much since this was announced. Is everyone's kind of wanted to know, is it going to be like Tony Hawk or is it going to be like Skate? And for the most part, Adam has done a pretty good job of explaining that it is somewhere in between. Now, for the most part, can you guys see this? Because I'm just realizing the stream. Nope, we're good. All right, everyone can see what's going on here. That's great. Now I just looked like the stream had gone funky for a second. You guys seeing me or are you seeing the stream? That's a big question there. I'm going to wait for you guys to answer real quick. Let's see. Okay, awesome. You guys see the game. Great. Perfect. Sweet. All right. This is great. Thanks for you guys' engagement right there. So, talking about the gameplay. So, if you have ever played a game like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, you know, when those games first came out, actually, like, the dual joystick was barely even a thing at that time. So, you know, when they originally made those games, those inputs were very simple, like X button and a direction to give you tricks. So it was, you know, A to ollie, X to do kick, you know, X and left to do a kickflip, you know, down to shove it. So for the most part, you know, you needed a straight button input. And then when, you know, EA Skate came along and they introduced, you know, the joystick-based input where you were actually trying to mimic the movements, that became really great, especially for games that were simulator style, where you were trying to do more realistic type stuff. And as things have kind of gone on, a lot of games, most of your action sports games now use the joysticks as, you know, your main input. Yeah, exactly, the flick it system. So, for the most part, you know, Adam has gone with a flick system, but what's nice about this is you don't actually have to, you know, you're not trying to mimic the movement of the trick. So when he says it's a combination of somewhere between skate and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, what he actually means is, like, as of right now, the way you actually hop, like, you hold down on the joystick and just let go to hop. So you're not actually flicking up, which still does work, but you're just letting go. And as you let go, once you've let go to hop, you can flick the joystick in any direction to do the trick. So, for instance, if you release and flick left, you bar spin. If you release and flick right, you tail whip. Now, timing this and how fast you flick this depends on kind of how fast the trick is. As Adam mentioned in the dev update, we've introduced a little bit of a speed control to the tricks. So for the most part, a lot of the tricks you can do hop. So for instance, like if you notice, basically, exactly, you know, flick but no flick. It's not, the main thing that Adam wanted to kind of achieve with this was the ease of playing like a little bit of an arcade style, but you can take the time, like once you've kind of mastered it, you can play this game and get very realistic in how you play the game. It is, like he said, somewhere between an arcade game and a sim, where like if you really want to, you can get realistic with it, but you can also do ridiculous tricks. You can do, you know, insane drops, big gaps, and, you know, it's not too difficult to get in and have some fun and go a little bit crazy. So now that I've kind of explained the trick system, what I'll do is I'll show you guys a little bit of what tricks are in it right now. Again, this is an ever-evolving system, and yes, real quick to answer that question, yes, you can swap stance. As of right now, say I personally, I ride left foot forward, and, you know, I spin to the right. I'm a left foot forward rider, but simply by tapping RB, you can switch your stance, and everything is now right foot forward. Now your tricks don't remap or anything, so it's still hopping left to do your bars, but obviously it does them in the right direction. So hopping right, flick right does a whip, but now it's right foot forward. So if you ride right foot forward, you can absolutely switch your stance and, yeah, and play around with it. So I need to get back to that because that kind of messes me up. I like riding left foot forward. So now, as for the tricks that are in the game, we basically have a, let's see, well, we have like an aggressive stance option or loose style. So for instance, as of right now, the animations are kind of set. We're thinking about, you know, ways to kind of expand on that. So right now, you know, if you do a bar, the bar is the same for, you know, no matter kind of like where you're doing it, with the exception of like your speed. Your hops are kind of when you go to do, you know, spins, if you're trying to have more like a loose style, like if you're trying to compare it to like how other like specific riders ride, you know, some riders are really stiff when they ride, and some riders are really fluid and are really smooth and buttery. You don't really have that option in this right now because there's a lot that goes into coding things like that. And so for the most part, it's, you know, the kind of aggression is kind of, you know, what it is, whether it's, yeah, I hope I'm answering that question as far as, you know, aggressive option or loose style. I hope that makes sense. They're kind of set because that's how the animation is. But what is nice about this is you can kind of change how you do things by just how you play it. So for instance, you know, like there's one guy that's a playtester. He's an old rider, used to ride for, I believe, Shadow, Scott Ditchburn. And the clips that I've seen him put together are insane gaps, fast riding, big hops, and he plays the game very different from me. So even though a lot of the style is kind of set right now, there might be some options for kind of being able to tweak that. As far as that goes, like the way you play the game, you can really hone in on kind of how you play it. So I hope that kind of helps answer that question. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, you can definitely play this game a little bit loose. I try to make it feel a little bit smooth, and so how you do it, it can factor into it. Is it only free coaster? So yeah, as of right now, it is only free coaster. I don't think we've actually had that discussion yet because we're still kind of sorting out, the main physics of the game. So, this build that I'm playing right now was, we've been getting weekly updates from Adam as far as, how the game plays, little tweaks here and there, tweaks to the animation. And so, yeah, as of right now, it's only free coaster, but that might be something that we discuss in the future. I'm doing my best to play and read the chat and answer questions, so sorry if I'm a little back and forth. So, let's see, one comment, that zoom out when you pedal seems a little drastic. So, you kind of have a, really crank it thing speed, so you can get going pretty fast by just holding the right trigger and pedaling. If you want to kind of have that extra boost to really get moving, then doing a double tap, you almost just it's getting a little aggressive. It's a little bit faster, and yeah, it does zoom out to kind of give you a little bit of thing, but things like that they're not totally locked in yet. And so, for the most part, again, little things like that. We've had changes with camera angles. We've had changes with how wide the field of view is. Now, some of these things are going to be set and are not changeable. I don't know what kind of options he's going to have for being able to set that up kind of as you want. But yeah, toggle option on the speed camera would be cool. Definitely we're going to keep a lot of these, and not an automatic thing. So I like playing this game a little bit fast sometimes. I also like trying things a little bit slow. It kind of depends on, what I'm going at. If I'm trying to go high and boost a quarter, I'll give it the double tap. Or, I'll just casually pedal, start slow, and then that'd be mod support. I don't know anything about mod support. I don't think so, or at least not at the beginning. That's a question that hopefully Adam can chime in on at some point. I know he's been asked about mod support, but I think the way he's building it, I'm not sure how friendly it would be to that. But again, the mod community, I've only done a little bit of that kind of stuff myself, so I'm not entirely sure what he would need to do to be able to do that. But it's definitely something that all of these things are going to be continued discussions as this game gets closer to a point where it gets ready for you guys. So, let's see here. Are there foot jams and lip tricks? So, foot jams and lip tricks. If you watched the dev update, he did announce that lip tricks we did decide to add into the game because basically he wasn't going to originally have lip tricks in the game because he wanted to be more of a street game, but as it's kind of evolved, especially with a lot of people who are either just starting out, the example that I gave him was, when I started riding BMX, one of the first things I did was I learned how to do a disaster. And so being able to do something like a disaster, like a 5 to disaster, I was like, you know what? That feels like something that should at least be in the game. And it's something that, he decided to add in. So, as far as lip tricks go, they are kind of in. As of right now, it's just disasters, nose picks, and tail taps. Now, how you tail tap, it can be right on the edge. So I'll try and get something going on here real quick. So we've got a disaster there. The thing about the lip tricks right now, there's not actually animations coded into them yet. So as of right now, he just kind of locks into a really stale, stuck position, and kind of gets So there we go. So we got a tire tap, and you can kind of like play it like it's a bit of a foo-fa-noo. So there's still some tweaks to do. So it's the lip tricks are the most recent addition to the gameplay. So as of right now, they're still a little janky, and they're going to take some time. But here, let me try and get a foof on this sub box for you guys real quick. Almost. Give this one more shot. I need to go a little bit faster. Alright, one more time. We'll give a foof a shot here. And then lean back. There we go. Hope you guys saw that. So, let's see here. Let me try to answer a couple questions real quick. So, we'll take a foof. Alright. So, the engine's being used, I'm pretty sure he's making it in Unity, but he's using a combination of things to kind of build on it. Because I'm pretty sure that he made all of the phone games. So Pumped 1, 2, 3, Flow, all those. You can... he kind of started to use those assets to do his proof of concept, so he just continued to build it. News on when they're going to be taking more testers. So I know that we've got the tester sign up. I hope that you guys have all gotten onto that. So as of right now, there's not an official like date or choice. We know that we've got a few things that we want to kind of cross the finish line on first, but for the most part, hopefully not too much longer, but Adam will have more of that info either in the Discord or on socials soon enough. So let's see here. Let me try and get some actual runs going for you guys now that you guys are actually watching. Let's see. Can you cork 7? So you can kind of cork some spins and flips in this game. I will say that's one thing I'll talk about next. I've played a lot of these games over the years, and for the most part, BMX games have had a really hard time with like things like flares and flips, but this game has probably I don't know how he's done it, but he's, in my opinion, cracked the best flares, the best flips and spin system. So I have controller. It's an older console I play being able to. Let's see. Hold on one second. Let me answer this. Let's see. We have controller mapping available. Unsure yet. I know that we've kind of talked about trying to keep the, because of kind of how we've done this. So, like for instance, you have a set of T1 and T2 tricks, kind of like in the mobile games. So, for instance, left is a bar spin. But if you hold the trigger, if you hold your right or left triggers while in the air, it does the T2 tricks. As of right now, we have switch bar spins and switch whips in the same positions as the other whips. So you can do a whip and whip back by holding the right trigger. But your other tricks, so for instance, you have a tabletop for up, and you have a one-footed Euro for right trigger and up. You have a look back for down. You also have, messed up there. You have a Superman for right trigger and down. So yeah, and then we've also got the angle trick. So you've got no handers, nothings. Let's see, we've got crank flips. We've got decades. We've got toboggans, we've got cannonballs, and we've got X-ups, and then no-footed cans. So there's quite a lot of tricks in here, and by kind of having the buttons mapped this way, it feels really good to play, and it's really natural. It doesn't actually take that long to get used to. A short afternoon of playing, and you can be doing all of the things that you want to do. So as far as remapping the controllers, then I'm not sure, how much needs to be remapped, but it is definitely a discussion that has been happening. So, sorry, I kind of derailed a little bit there. Going back to the, can you roll with the X up? Sorry, I need to answer this. We have talked about this because Adam did post a video of doing the, he did an X up ride to 180. He posted a video of it in the Discord. And unfortunately right now, you cannot roll with the X up. But I know that it's something that we've talked about. I don't know how much more work it would be for him to be able to make that work. But it is a discussion that's been had. Whether or not it happens at launch, don't know yet. But to quickly go back to the flips and spins, one of the things that I really loved about this, and a couple of you have commented that in the clips that you've seen, it looks like he's really done a good job of figuring out the flips and spins. What I love about it is you can really kind of control your flip and your flare when you want to do one. And then if you wanted to, you can really crank around like a 540 flare. You can do switch flares. So by kind of like preloading your flip with a certain bit of angle, if you can see on my left joystick that as I'm going up right before I hop, I'm kind of preloading. Flip and spin were perfect in Trail Boss. So Trail Boss, because you kind of, it is kind of similar, but in a slightly different way. So in Trail Boss, you could start your flip and then you could add the spin or vice versa by kind of like flicking and then flicking or like preloading it a little bit. How you preload here can affect how much it spins versus flips. So let's see here. I'm going to go to a different spot real quick to kind of give you a good example of what I'm talking about. So off of this big ramp, you can do, like for instance, I was practicing trying to do R. Willie's Aussie rolls, which is is it the Aussie roll? His double backflip 360. And then, let's see, let's get our little boost going, go fast. I'm going to go, it's a little wonky at the moment because I think there's still a little bit of physics that still kind of need to get figured out for some of this, but there we go, that was a little bit better. So yeah, you can really play around with kind of how you flip and how you do your flares, your flips, your spins, and really kind of have fun with it. If you want to like carve a much larger flare, it's almost barrel roll territory. I'll try and get a big one here, just a slow. There we go. And what's nice is because of how he's done it, you can also do any of the same tricks while in these flips. So you can really kind of crank at it. And then if you want to get all Kieran Riley on it, you can go a little bit crazy. And I definitely just landed on that ledge. And that's kind of where the arcade factor plays into this. Is, it's a little ridiculous. You're blasting really, really, really high on some of these tricks. And then let's just see here. A 900 flare, basically. This is where the ridiculousness comes in a little bit. So, but then you can also ride a flat rail. And get really tech with it, low, slow, and it's really fun. Let's see, a couple questions. Can you do a hang 5? You absolutely can do pedal hang 5s. normal hang fives, and hang nothings. And so, you know, you've got, so your manual system is a real quick up down before you land to manual, or you have a down up to nose manual. And so by holding either right trigger or left trigger, or both, so right trigger does hang five, left trigger does the pedal hang five, and there's a couple of bugs here that we got to sort out with braking and the pedal hang five, and then both triggers does hang nothing. So again, there's little details in some of these physics, like for instance that you should not be able to do that trying to prep for a pedal hang five, but if you do it from a hop, it kind of avoids that whole brake issue. So let's see, can you go through all the different grinds? Yeah, sure. So as of right now, if you just land on a ledge, so your grind is RB against any ledge or quarter pipe. I'll use this rail for a bit. So if you just hold RB when you land, it just automatically goes straight to pegs. If you hold down, you ice pick. If you hold up, you toothpick. Pretty, you know, that's one of those like common sense ones. So left and RB, you feeble. Right and RB, you smith. And then there's a couple of extras. So if you double tap RB, hold a direction and double tap, you can crank arm. And then if you double tap and left, it's like a pedal smith. We've talked about I know that there's, you know, maybe questions about either crooks or like things like a lucky grind. You know, again, a lot of this stuff is still very work in progress. So, you know, we're trying to kind of find that balance of what fits, what works without making the game too bloated at the start. So let's do this. I'm going to back out for just a minute, and we're going to go into the ditch level so I can show you guys around that level a little bit. So we're going to go back to the main menu, go right, we're going to go to the ditch. So now you guys have seen the ditch in a couple of clips that we've done. This is still, you know, being worked on. More of the artwork is finished on this. There's still some pieces that are not quite done, and a lot of this stuff can change before release as well. And to just answer, someone did ask release date. There's not an official release date set yet. What I can tell you is that the game is going to be launching on Steam first, and then it's going to be coming to consoles after that. So the aim is to do most modern consoles, so things like Xbox, PlayStation, and I know that the Switch is on the list. So if you guys have been curious about whether or not you're going to be able to play this on Switch, it is in the works. It is on our wish list of, you know, consoles to get it on. But obviously, you know, once the game gets, you know, to a done state, then it, you know, has to basically get ported to all these different systems, which it shouldn't be too bad. And so, yeah, I know that all of the modern consoles are on the list. So, but again, it's launching first on Steam. So if you play PC, if you've got a Steam Deck, it should have Steam Deck support. So don't completely quote me on that, but it is coming out on Steam first. Still no answer on release date, but we will be, as soon as something is known, we will be letting you guys know. The big question is because we don't know. There's still a lot of things to get answered in this. So I'm just going to play around here for a little bit. There's a lot of cool wall rides in this one. There's actually a really big wall ride down at the end of this ditch out of a quarter that we'll give a couple of tries here. So that's another thing, is wall rides in this game. He also got wall rides perfect, because you can ride them like you would on street. What's great is you can also do things like fakie wall rides, which work out great. Let's go hit this big wall ride down at the bottom of the hill. Oh, let me reset a marker. So you can reset, you can place markers and go back to your start point. Someone did ask if you're going to be able to get off your bike and walk around. As of right now, that's not in the works. You know, everything is pretty much set to be just on the bike, kind of old school, you know, game, not being able to get up and walk around. But I'm going to set a marker real quick. I'm just going to crank down this hill. Let me reset my... So one thing you notice down here in the bottom left, there's 2 bars here. One is basically your boost speed. And you kind of... it's basically your energy. So you can just go as fast as you can for a bit. And then let's boost out of this, hit that wall, and then back in. And that's a nice big fun wall ride to play around with. The other inner little meter is your fakie timer. So if you're doing a line, and let's say you do a trick and you land fakie, you have a little bit of a timer that keeps your combo going. So, like, let's say I'm going to come down here for a little bit. Let's say I wanted to do some kind of grind and then fakie between a couple of these ledges over here. I have a little bit of a timer to hop again to keep the combo going. So that was one of the things that I think myself and maybe Scott probably brought up, is that, you know, when you landed both tires for a little bit, the combo went away because it thought it was done. So we're like, you know, if someone's putting a combo together, you know, they're going to count the full cab that they did in the line and then keep going. So let's see here. Now let's play around with these ledges a little bit. Do a nice long toothpick, manual, Smith 180 bar. Half cab whip. There we go. That's one of the things I also really like about this, is like, if you have an idea, once you kind of get used to it, you can kind of set yourself out to really like go for ideas that you have. So let's see, I'm going to try feeble, hop up bar, manual, 180 whip, and then we're going to do half cab bar, manual, tuck. There we go. See, a little bit of real, a little bit of ridiculous. I love this game so much, and I can't wait to see how much, how much more, shows up in this game. Let's see. Will there be a career mode or story? So there will be. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be like a story. Excuse me. But there will be challenges in every level, and we haven't actually. Let's see, someone's played 500 hours of Trail Bus. I'm hoping that there's at least one section on one of the maps with a few dirt jumps. There's going to be 6 levels in total. We've only really got 2 of them that are in this kind of state. I'll preview one of the ones for you guys that looks unfinished, just so you guys can see just how much more there is to go. We've talked about other types of things like dirt jumps, maybe some indoor sections. There's still a lot that is on the table, a lot that can be done and probably will be done. So we're listening to you guys. We're doing the best we can to kind of like do as much as possible without either like overloading the game, making it too much. But let's see. I'm just going to give a few things a go here. I'm going to have some fun with this and focus a little bit more on this. If you guys have any ideas for tricks you want to try to see, throw them out. Any pro riders in the game like Pump 3? No, there are not any pro riders at this moment. I think the whole point with this one was to be able to make your own characters to really set it up to be what you want it to be. Yes, there are crank flips. Oh, another great thing is whenever you do any of these tricks where there's either something spinning, you just hold it for a double, and you can just hold it to keep the tricks going. So you know, you can do ridiculous things like that. Mess that up a little bit. But yeah, let's see. You know, there's some spots that I'll find that make for really good. What about ETs? No, not currently ETs, but maybe that's something we can add to the list of maybes right now. You know, one of the great things is, you know, Adam's gonna watch this because I don't think he wasn't available. So I'd love for him to be in the chat, but I kind of did this last minute. But next time we do another live stream, I think Adam will definitely be in the chat, and we'll take the opportunity to answer some. He'll throw in his 2 cents while you guys are asking questions. But let's see if we can get a good. Ooh, a little late whip there. Oh, hit the ceiling a little bit. So a big part of what we've been trying to do as well is just play the game as anyone would, to also potentially find some bugs, because you know, Adam is just one guy. So let's see, bike flip and bike varials or body varial. So I know, you know, and we've had this discussion, and you know, sorry Adam if you know this is more than you wanted to say. So pretty much everything that he's done at some point for the phone games, he's kind of used as the starting point for these. So, like for instance, I'm pretty sure that he can take the bike animations from the bike flips in the other games and bring them into this and refine them to try to get them to work. The big thing for us is right now, the way this controller scheme is, you know, it's set up for those T1 and T2 tricks. With your 8 main directions, you know, as of right now, there's 16 air tricks that you can do in this game. You know, and that is counting like the bars and switch bars, whips and switch whips. That's quite a lot. I know that we've had discussions about, you know, which ones go in, because for instance, Superman's weren't in it. And then, you know, there was a couple of tricks that, like for instance, myself or most of the playtesters weren't actually using. Perfect example is kickouts. So like moto whips over dirt jumps. This is more of a street game. Now, I'm not saying that there maybe won't be... sorry, I just had a complete brain malfunction there. Not saying that there won't be dirt jumps somewhere in this game, but for the most part, it is a street game. There's not really any like perfectly set up boxes. It's all kind of like amalgamations of street spots. So things like the kick out, you know, like moto whips in the Trails games, we didn't really use much. So we replaced that with the Superman. So, you know, the trick list is not finalized. None of this is what I would consider finalized. All of it is still a work in progress. And so, you know, there's quite a few things to get through before the conversations of, you know, let's lock this down, let's solidify this, and, you know, no more changes kind of state. We're still a ways away from that. So we're going to listen. We're going to see what you guys think about things. And just kind of, you know, evolve it to get it to a place that we think it's ready. So, see, a couple of questions. Let's see, rider customization about adding riding gloves. We've not had that conversation, but maybe it's something, you know, Adam can take a look at and see if there's, you know, any more accessories that are worth putting on there. And, you know, maybe gloves aren't a bad idea. So, let's see here. I'm going to play for just a few more minutes, guys. I'm going to try to keep it to no more than another, like, 5 to 10 minutes. But, let's do this. I'm going to preview one of the levels that is unfinished right now. So, Just so you guys can see what these unfinished levels kind of look like right now. So you guys seen what the rest of these look like. Now I'm going to show you what an unfinished level looks like right now. So, you know, as you see, most of the levels start out as just shapes. You know, some of them have a little bit of texture on them, but a lot of these are just big gridded shapes to kind of get, you know, the placement of things set. You know, none of it is anywhere close to finish. Let's see. The rail ride is possible. Yes, rail rides are possible. They're not something that you like lock into with an input. You just got to line them up. So this is all balance that you have to work on and steer. I'm going to get my best Chad Curley impression here. And nose to bar the rail. So let's see here. Let's see. Should do our downtown level. Probably the most polished of the blockouts in my opinion. Oh, okay. All right. You know what? Blaze in the chat is one of the guys here. We'll go to the downtown level real quick. So downtown again, as far as, you know, textures go, it's not there. Thank you, Blaze. But I think its layout is probably one of my favorites. I love this mini ramp in the back. I have found myself sometimes just sessioning this mini for a good hour on its own. It just rides and flows so well, and the wall rides that are around it are just perfect. And so I'm just going to go hard on this for a minute and just focus on these. Big gap to flat. Let's see here. Let's go look at a couple of these big rails. Let's do a big tooth hanger down and boop. Let's see. Get a little manual bar, manual 180. Let's see. Can you front flare on quarters? Yeah, excuse me. Yes, you can. Oh, when I don't land to flat. Here, I'll just do one right here. Front flare. And there's some things, you know, again, some animations can probably, you know, still use some work, but a little no-handed front flare. And then, if you want to, you know, rest in peace, Pat Casey this. Let me see if I can get that fakey cash roll that he did. There we go. Fakey cash roll, Pat Casey forever, all that fun stuff. There we go. So yeah, let's see. If I wanted to do a nose manny to bar out of a regular ledge, would I be able to have enough airtime before landing? So for instance, like you can hop and do the bar. So like if you wanted to like, you know, nose manny to bar, you absolutely could. And depending upon the ledge, I'll try one down this ridiculous, you know, big rail right here. So you can nose manny, and then hop out of it. I didn't hop out of that one. So you would have enough time there. But like for instance, if there was like a bigger drop, here we go. Here's what I'll try. So this ledge here, what I'll try is I'll try a nosy, and I'll try to drop bar instead of hopping. I'll try and let it just drop and then bar out of it down to the ledge below. So let me give that a little go. And then there's a little bit. Let's see. I'll try that one more time. See if I can't. There we go. So I hope that answered it. So I didn't even hop out of that one. I just let it drop and then was able to fit a bar in. It was a taller ledge. There's still some things we're working on with like timing out of manuals, because we did add that feature where, you know, depending upon how long of a drop it is, if you're manualing, it'll continue the manual if you've like come off the ground a little bit. So if you wanted to like manual off a ledge and continue manualing, if it's a small enough ledge, you don't have to do another input. You can just drop. But as it gets bigger, if you want to just manual and drop, it would drop the manual. So like this. Yeah, see, that was a little bit too short of a ledge. So, you know, there's some things to, you know, try and tweak. Again, these are just more of the physics that as we play it, we're finding new things, you know, every week to play around with, to try. Or hidden transfer lines that you guys haven't found yet. I have found quite a few transfers and big gaps that, you know, I don't think Adam ever even planned on. I think all of us have. I know that Scott Ditchburn definitely has. He's Varga's Death on the Discord. So if you go to the Discord and look in the media thing, he's posted quite a few, and he's done some ridiculous gaps, found some ridiculous lines, and, you know, he's done an amazing job of finding stuff. Well, mess that up a little bit. So yeah, there's still some bugs to sort out. There's still quite a few things to work out and, you know, continue building. Are there any challenges like in the Pump series? Yes, there are definitely going to be challenges. There's going to be lots of things to keep you coming back to play, to, you know, try to beat and do certain things. So let's do a little flare manual 180 whip. Come up here and do a little gap up here. Pop up here to the little highway bridge. No multiplayer that I can think of right now. You know, working on getting the core gameplay just sorted right now. When you start getting into things like multiplayer, when you start involving things like servers and, you know, ways of hosting, that adds a layer of complexity that, you know, I don't even understand that stuff. So, I mean, I understand it enough. I couldn't imagine trying to actually, like, you know, set it up and implement it. So as of right now, like, an online multiplayer is not really in the cards. Who's to say that that may not be a future thing, but as of right now, I don't think it is. But honestly, I've not really missed playing with other people. I just enjoy, like, honestly, you know, I've been dealing myself with a little bit of like a bum knee, so I haven't ridden as much lately. This has been such an awesome outlet to be able to play this, you know, to be able to, you know, get a little bit of a feeling of riding accomplishment. You know, I'm almost 40. I don't get out and ride that much anymore, but for the most part, you know, whenever I do try to get out and ride, I try to make it worth it. But you know, this has been a welcome distraction and is just as fun to play now as it was from the day he let me come in to help, you know, make it become the best it can be. So, oh, there's Adam. Don't worry, Adam. There's still lots for you to talk about. Stream is going well. I'm actually just about to turn it off now. I've been at it for an hour now. I was originally going to do it only 30 minutes, but, you know, it's been going so damn well. So, but yeah, I think you came in at the right time. Should I fix my BMX Monday? I should fix my BMX Monday. Go shred. Go shred. Go ride. That's all we want people to do, you know, like, BMX is sick. BMX is fun, you know. It's, even if you don't ride and you're just interested in the game, that's awesome too. But if you ride, get out there, try to ride as much as you can. Enjoy your youth. And then, there we go. All right. You know, guys, I think we are going to call it there. I'm going to switch back to this one for one moment. I hope I answered quite a lot of your questions. I want to thank Adam for letting me, come in, be another, little devil on his shoulder to tell him about ideas, play around with this. I've definitely bothered him the most, probably out of any of the playtesters. So thanks for letting me show this around to everybody. If any of you are going to be in the Boston area next week, we are going to be at PAX East. Give me 1 second. If Adam is still in the chat, does he remember what booth we are at? I believe it's 151. 1 second. I will tell you what booth we'll be at. So if you're going to go to PAX, I don't know how many of you are on the East Coast. If you're going to be in Boston next week at PAX East, we will have the game up for people to test and to play. We'll be at booth 15104 at the Null Games booth. So come say hi to Adam, come say hi to me. I will be there. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Feel free to jump into the Discord. The link is in the bio. If you didn't come from the Discord, join the Discord. And we want you guys to just be as up to date as we can possibly tell you. I'm getting tired now. And yeah, we can't wait for you guys to play this. Still a lot of work to go, but we wanted to show you kind of where it was at and hopefully answer a few of the questions that you guys have been asking kind of from day one. So enjoy. Be on the lookout. We might do another one of these streams soon when maybe some more features have been added and we can kind of show you, what has changed. I know Adam's going to be doing more dev updates. You guys responded really well to that video. So yeah, have a great evening and we will talk to you guys soon.